Morning, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in Levisham, North Yorkshire. I'm going for a walk down onto the moors and going to go and visit Skelton Tower and carry on along the moors. I'm going to work our way down and go through the Hole of Horcum and back up to Levisham where we park the car. So quickly show you the map and then we'll get on with it. Working our way down onto the moor now, walking through this path. It's got bracken either side, and in the valley on the left is Levisham Station, which is part of the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. So at this point you can go through that gate and follow the sign to Levisham Station, but what we want to be doing is carrying on this path and following these blue arrows. So we've just come from the track on the left, and a bit further up you'll get to this road, and we just want to keep following this towards that hill. And then there's a car park down there. Right, so we're nearly at the part of the road now where we are going to bear off straight on instead of following the road round to the left. And if you're being adventurous, you can go up and over that hill that's called Corn Hill. But today we're going to stick to the footpath. So after about 300 metres from that car park, you're going to come across these signs. We want to be following the footpath sign this way, which will slowly bend round to the right and lead us on to Skelton Tower. Here we are at Skelton Tower, built in 1830 by Robert Skelton, and it was used as a shooting lodge. Going to stay in overnight after doing pheasant and grouse shooting on the moors. The viewpoints are really good from there. See the steam trains down below. There's the railway. A bit further on in that direction, following the track, is Newtondale Halt, one of the North Yorkshire Moors railway stations. And not long ago I did a wild camp up at Skelton Tower, so I'll put the link to that video on the top of the screen and have a look at that. Woke up in mist, but got a cracking sunset on that wild camp. So yeah, once you're finished at Skelton Tower, just follow this Moorland Path, bearing round to the left. You can't really see too much because the bracken's really high. Keeping the valley on your left, and we're just going to work our way all the way along to that outcrop there. That point that's in the middle of the screen now. Check out some more of the moors and eventually end up down towards the Hole of Horcum.
Keep pushing you away while I want you to stay. Amazing God his eyes, but my heart still beats. When I say no, it's yes. I'm putting you to the test. Can you handle me? Do you have the key? Sorry that I've been playing games. Do you really have what it takes? I guess so, I guess so. I guess so, I guess so.
So whilst walking along these paths, you can't really go wrong. They all end up merging onto each other, and there are some signposts, but as long as you keep Newtondale on your left, the big hills on your right, keep heading following these, you're going to be spot on. So I've just nipped off the main path. Just turn left, walk through a little bracken path, and here's one of those little places I was on about. So if you keep walking, you're going to miss all these, but this would be ideal for a picnic or somewhere to get out the weather if it turns on you. And I'll just show you. It goes all the way around. There's loads of little spots where you can just shelter or hide away. It's just up this little path. Another little opening here. Again, you could have a picnic, get out the sun under the trees. And this is the little part where I just came in. So Skelton Tower's up that way. I'm just going to carry on up here. So we're about another kilometre on. Just looking behind there, Skelton Tower's well off in the distance. See how green and lush the moor is. And up ahead, you can see how we've got the last of the heather bloom, where it's purple. So just carrying on these paths. There are a few sections where you get to Y's in the track. As long as you're heading that direction, it doesn't matter, they always link back up. So there's one running off parallel to me at the left. That'll join back up with this one shortly. So don't worry too much, as long as you don't go down the cliff. You keep on the moors with the hill on your right, you can't go wrong. Right then, we're about another half a kilometre on. Over on my left, about 500 metres over there is the drop off into Newtondale, and I'm in line now with Huggett Scar, which is the sharp drop-off point over there. You can walk along that ridge line, but the path's not very good, but there is a path there. And over in the distance, on top of the hill, I'll zoom in because you can see RAF Fylingdales, a little blip on top of the hill. That's the early warning station. So much more of the same, just following these paths. Yeah, it's deadly peaceful around here at the moment. Seeing what, 4 people all day. You just see signs now of autumn creeping in as well. We're at the end of August now, and a lot of the bracken and heather's starting to die off. And then the moors look completely different. We'll keep on bashing on. I'll bring you back where you can turn left to go down towards Newtondale Halt. So that little dip in the land with the tree in the middle, that's the area where you start dropping down into Newtondale's Halt. And on the path, just into this little dip, and there's one of the ways through. But for us, it's going to carry on handrailing the hill. Okay, coming to the end of this this section of the moorland. We're getting quite close to the A169 now, which is the Whitby Road. You can just see it. I'll zoom in there, which is where we're heading, and that's just going to go up the side, short steep uphill bit. The moors are dropping off behind us. So there's RAF Fylingdales still on our left. To the left of RAF Fylingdales you've got Simon Howe over the, you can't quite see it. Over to the right of Fylingdales you've got Lillicross. Behind them woods and quite a bit further that way is Dalby Forest. And just a little appreciation of where we are. There's nothing to see behind us now. We're just following this track. It's like a maze now through the bracken. It's really good. Watch out, it's adder season towards the end of August, so the odd ones still about before they go into hibernation. So I'll bring you back when we're up the top of this bit, and then we've got the Hole of Horcum to have a look at. So here we are, at the mouth of the Hole of Horcum. Absolutely spectacular up here. The camera's probably not doing it justice as per usual. So, legend has it that a giant called Wade was having an argument with his wife, and he scooped up a big mound of earth and threw it at her, and that's what created this, the Hole of Horcum. And then there's a hill nearby called Blakey Topping, and that is what's said to be the mud that he threw and where it landed. So a little bit of local legend for you there. So how the hill was actually formed, the scientific version, it's a process called spring sapping. And what happens is the water wells up in the surrounding hills and as it slowly leaches down into the valley, it erodes the rocks away, forming the big Hole of Horcum. It's a process which is still going on now, so for millennia of years still to come, it's going to get bigger. So what we've got now over there, on top of that ridge where the cars are, is Saltergate Carpark. I believe it's pay and display, and there's normally an ice cream van up there. And that's on the A169. And then behind that and over the top is where Blakey Topping is. And further on you've got the Bridestones, which is part of Dalby Forest. So we're going to head our way down into the bowl now of Hole of Horcum. And I'll bring you down at the bottom. So where I've come down through the middle of the Hole of Horcum, there's a path running all the way along that ridge. And there's also a path you could have turned or bared off to the right and followed that ridge line all the way across Levisham Estate Moor, and then you'd come back in from behind the pub in Levisham. So if you want a shorter route, sorry, then you can go that way and you still get the views from the top, but I prefer going through the Hole of Horcum and walking into, I think they call it a big amphitheatre. Generally stop down in by the Low Horcum abandoned farmhouse and have sandwiches and a brew down there. Here we are, behind me is the abandoned farmhouse called Low Horcum. We're about halfway through the Hole of Horcum now. We're going to follow that sheep path there, going round to the right hand side of those woods, and there's looking back. You can't see the path down now. One of them places where you just think it'd be brilliant to live, but then I suppose when it comes to getting to and from, it'd be a bit of a problem. Oh yeah, awesome place for a picnic. Or you can get in behind them stone walls if you need to get out the weather in the winter and things like that. So when you get to this part, there's a gate there, but we don't want to be going through that gate. We want to be following this goat track. After you've gone past that gate on the left and carried on straight on, you should get to this gate. You go through the gate and then we're on to a short piece of boardwalk, and then you'll start to see and hear on your right in the valley Levisham Beck. This is something you don't see every day. Levisham Beck drops down into that hole, goes underneath these trees, and then comes out there. Not something you see every day. So once you get over Levisham Beck, you're going to get to this signpost. Behind us is back to the Hole of Horcum. We go up, and that way you go to Dundale Pond, which goes straight through the Hole of Horcum. But we want this way to Levisham. So once you've come over the little footbridge over Levisham Beck, followed the signpost for Levisham, you're going to start gradually climbing up now, coming out of the Hole of Horcum. You get to this gate, just go straight through, you can't really go wrong, and we're just going to keep going uphill through the woods, keeping the steep side on our right. And then we're going to go round back on ourselves, back towards the pub and the high street at Levisham. Unfortunately, it's time to sign off. Hopefully you've enjoyed the walk and found it useful. I always aim to give you everything you need to replicate the walks, so hopefully that's come across today. So if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If there's anything you think I could have done better, please leave me some comments and click subscribe. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Cheers. And that's us back in Levisham on the main road. So just finished getting up the top of this hill, and I'm off to the pub.